Welcome back to another episode of Back Agent Hustle, where we discuss different strategies and success stories for realtors, agents, right? Business owners in real estate to help them grow their business. And I have my co-host Terry Kelly here with me today. And Terry, what are we going to talk about?
Today, we need to talk about the importance of Google My Business, a Google business account.
Yes. And this is something that I love talking about because I think I do a pretty good job of where our Google My Business is and our reviews to help us organically get business, right?
Yes.
And everybody wants free business, right? But it doesn't always come to us. We have to be proactive in the things that we do and the systems that we have to help it work for us so that way we can get organic business. So, full disclosure, I do not pay for Google ads. I do not pay local service ads. I don't do PPC on Google or anything like that.
So
So
if you don't do any of that, how much business are you actually getting from it?
So from Google My Business, we probably see maybe about 20% of our business right now. I mean,
Okay.
it's going to help us get maybe anywhere between 3 to 5 transactions plus a year, and it doesn't always happen at once, right? But we get a bunch of calls from it too, right? And I should be better at tracking those calls and whatnot, but it's about the calls, and it's obviously depends if they're qualified and things like that that turn into business, but closed transactions. I mean, it could help you, add maybe 3 to 5. So yes, you're not going to get rich off of it, but at the same time, you didn't pay anything. And if you continue to improve your Google My Business profile, obviously over time, that number should grow every year, right? And it's not
Right.
just going to be 3 to 5 every single year. I mean, the more you utilize it, the more you keep it up to date, the more you have it set up properly, the more deals you can get out of it in the long run, right? But like it's like with everything, I tell people all the time, because we're relationship based, right? When we close somebody from Google or any other source, we're also looking at those referrals from that individual or that family, over time as well. So it's not just 3 to 5. If you really think about it, if you can get referrals out of those 3 to 5 that could turn into 10, 20, 50, who knows how many, right? It
Right.
depends on how well your systems are set up and how you're able to generate referrals from all your opportunities that you have. And so let's dive in. And the first thing that I want you to do, and I'm going to show you live in person how I, um, look at my profiles. I always open up a incognito tab, right? So let me share my screen. So it's an incognito tab, and obviously you can go to Google. Are you seeing my screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And I'm just going to do different words like best realtor in Wylie, because that's where I'm at, Texas, right? And you want to search for things that people are searching for, right? Best realtor, best real estate company, realtor in Wylie or Dallas or wherever you're at, right? And see how you pop up. Let's see if I'm doing a very good job. Now, obviously, these people up here, these are paid ads, right? But they're sponsored. Me as an individual, when I'm looking for something that I need, an HVAC company or, a restaurant, I don't really go to these sponsored ads, right? I kind of scroll down and
Why
I'll
do you not
look,
go to the sponsored ads?
what's that?
Why do you not go to the sponsored ads?
Because to me, I mean, I view it as an ad, right? I think the general public looks at this and like, ooh, if I click this, it may be an ad that I'm gonna get, and people don't want to be hard sold, right? They
That's
want to
all
do,
it is. When they have sponsors, that means they're paying for it.
yeah, that's it. And so, for me, I like to go here and look at maps and I'd like to see where I pop up. So here we go. Best realtor in Wylie, Texas. We have HSN. They're at 144.9 reviews. Um, Stash Realty Group right here. We have 159. Then you have the Lisa Henry Group. And then you have sponsored now, right? So I'm in the top three. To me, that's awesome, right? Um, and so a lot of people do that when they reach out to us. They're like, "I found you on Google, and you just had the most reviews. We read your reviews, and that's how we found you, and whatnot." So I would start there. And if you're not here, you always want to work your way up and see, okay, what do I got to do? If you don't have anywhere near 64 to 159 reviews, well, maybe it's about getting those up.
Right.
Let's if you click on more business, you have sponsored once again, but then you have, my home, Dorsey, Bishop, different people like that still pop up, but I don't know where their profiles look like. And so I'm just happy to be in the top three. So
Yep.
how do you get there? Right? That's what we're going to discuss.
Well, wait, before you get that far, look me up. I want to know where I rank on your side.
Okay, let's see where we're at.
In Realtor Chambers County, Alabama.
Let's go
And
back.
you're incognito.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Uh-huh.
All right. So best real.
No, just do realtor. Because
Why? I need the
why? Because
best, but
I
I
don't
want
need
to
to
work
be
with
the
the best.
best. I don't need to be the best. I just need to find a real estate agent.
Well, no, but if I'm a consumer, we're going to do best because if I'm a
Okay.
consumer, I'm putting best realtor in.
Chambers, yeah, Bers, County, Alabama. Because I serve a bunch of counties, so I want to see that county.
So you have your paid ads up here, sponsored ads, sponsored over here on the right. I have Terry Kelly Group, right? So for some reason, it doesn't bring up a whole maps, but hey, who cares? You're up there.
That's
You're
weird.
the
I
only
wonder
one
why it
that came
doesn't pull
up,
up the
right?
maps. Yeah.
165 Google reviews. So that's an awesome job.
Mhm.
Now, okay, you're in Valley, Alabama is your address. Now let's change this to, it may have been because we were looking for county.
Maybe.
So
There
yeah,
you
so
go.
see, if you do by city instead of county, here's your list. You're still at the top. So great job. 165 reviews. And then you have this one and this one with no reviews, right?
Yeah. So guess who gets all the calls?
Yeah. I love it.
Because nobody in my area decides to use it, and that's why it's so important. In your area, obviously, you're in a DFW suburb, and so you've got millions and millions of agents. I have the opportunity not to have that many, so that helps me rank a lot.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go open up a shop just for Google in Valley, Alabama. And
Get
I'm
you
gonna
some
see
leads.
what kind of business I can generate. I'm just gonna refer it out to you and get a referral fee.
There you go. Good
Bam!
idea.
Let's go.
Be my competition. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So, all right, sounds good. So, what we're going to do now is let's discuss how we got there, right, Terry?
Yep.
How you're popping up on your first one and how I am. And I'll first go over mine. Can you see where it says Google My
Yep.
Business Page profile?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So, here we go. Edit profile. Obviously, your business name, right? A lot of times people, use their first name, which is fine, things like that, right? Yours is Terry Kelly Group. For me, it's Stash Realty Group. Everybody knows me as the Stash guy in town and everywhere I'm at. So we use our team name. And then your business category, right? You want to mark as many as you can. So I have real estate agency, commercial agent, real estate consultant, commercial real estate agency. Those are the ones that I choose. Like when you come up in here, am I a real estate school? No. I'm an attorney? No. Surveyor? No. Appraiser? No. Developer? No. Auctioneer? No. I already have real estate consultant, real estate rental agency. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't like to do a lot of leases, so I don't want to showcase that in my profile because then I'm going to get a bunch of lease leads, right?
Right.
Um, so you want to come in here, and if you do, kudos to you. But come in here and choose every category that you can, right? When it comes into it, then you can hit save. Now, when it comes to the description, you also want to make that SEO friendly, right? So a
Correct.
lot of times you can utilize Chat GPT, right, to help you write it and make it SEO friendly. So that way, when people are searching with different keywords, your description's also going to pop up for them, right? So I use Chat GPT to help me. Um, I had my own description, and then I said, okay, Chat GPT, I want you to help me rewrite this, make sure it has SEO friendly and has certain keywords so that way when people are searching it, I'm popping up, right? So this is
Right.
what it came up with. Stash Realty Group, Matt Soto helps Wylie in Dallas Fort Worth, families buy, sell with confidence. Specialties, obviously buyers, sellers, relocations, move ups, first time buyers, acre and horse properties, investors, VA, right? New construction, luxury, pretty much covers all of it, right? Um, get a strategic home valuation, a pro photo edits, targeted ads, and through tough negotiation that protects your bottom line, right? Because we utilize a lot of that in our strategies, serving the certain cities or counties that I have. It says that I'm bilingual, transparent communication, data-driven pricing, and five-star Google reviews. If you're ready to talk, book a consult, right? Things like that. And then obviously your opening date when you first got in the business, that's what I put. So that's helped me, phone number. I don't know why it doesn't have my phone number. What the heck? It has my chat. What happened here? Look at that. I was missing something, but for some reason, you know what's crazy though? Let me not put that. I don't know why it doesn't show a phone number here, but it
But it
does
does there.
over here. Does
Nope, it's not
not.
showing.
No, it's not showing. Man, I
Mm-mm.
wonder if
Not
I
even
was
telling it to call you.
when I was messing with it the other day, maybe because I was teaching somebody else, maybe I accidentally deleted it.
Hmm.
There we go. So now y'all can call me because you see my number up there. Obviously, your website, you got to have your social profiles, right? All of them, the ones that you cater to, things like that. You want to make sure that you have your social profiles up there. And so I have my LinkedIn, I have my Facebook, I have my YouTube, I have my Instagram because those are the four that I utilize the most, right? I don't have TikTok on there or I don't Snap. I don't know what all the cool kids are doing nowadays, but that's okay because my avatar isn't an 18-year-old, right?
Right.
It's, someone maybe with or without a family that's around my age that's looking to either buy or sell, whether it's their first home or whether they're buying, a move up home or something. So these are the four utilized social profiles that I have, and those are the ones that I use. So. Now, obviously, I have a business location. Now, a lot of times agents talk about, well, I don't have an office, right? Well, can I use my broker's office? Well, yes, of course you can, right? It doesn't matter if there's 500 people using the same address. As long as you have an address there that you can verify with Google showing that that's your office, then you want to utilize that. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I have a virtual office, right? Or a virtual brokerage. Well, then you may want to find somewhere that you can either have an address or you can, utilize a friend, another agent who has an office and ask them if you can utilize their address if it's closer in your territory that you want to show up in, right? People who use your home address, just beware that's your home address, right? I mean, if you want to use it, kudos to you, but I wouldn't put my home address on there, right? There's too many crazies out there nowadays. So you just got to utilize a different, an address in the area that you want. The service area, you can see all these different ones that I have. Google allows you to have, I think, up to 20, which is what I have. You want to be sure you utilize this and put every single city around you that you service. You don't want to just put one and not pop up in the others. So utilize it. It's there. It lets you have 20 of them. Put all 20 different type of cities in there, right? Then obviously you want to look in for your business hours. Make sure you have business hours. Online hours I have different, right?
Don't
That
be unrealistic and say 24 hours because
oh,
Google's going to catch that and they're not going to push you. Like, so be honest about your hours.
not only that, but guys, that drives me insane when agents say, "Oh, I work 24 hours." Great. You know what? DM me. DM me that you work 24 hours, and the next time I'm awake at 1 a.m., I'm going to call you to test that theory because I, I don't even think clients, uh, think we work 24/7. And it actually could hurt you, right? From a perspective of a consumer, if I see an agent who says they're open 24 hours, in my head, I'm like, that's bull. That's BS. They're
Right.
not open 24 hours. So initially, my initial thought of you who mentioned 24 hours is they're already
They're already
lying.
not telling the
They're
truth.
already not telling the truth. So
Right.
don't do that. Right. And then obviously you can come in here and continue to fill out. Do I provide breakfast? No, I don't. Sorry, guys. But you can come in here and if there's anything that caters to you and your business, go ahead and do it. Right. Then you hit save. All right. So that's the first part, setting up your profile and getting it done. Right. Next, if you have Google reviews, Terry, I'm about to use you an example.
All
Let's
right.
go and see if you're doing it. We're going to do basically best realtor again in Valley, Alabama. Terry Kelly Group. All right, Terry, let's see this. Let's see. Boom. What do y'all notice that she's doing to her reviews?
Responding.
Responding. It is super important that all of you go and respond to every single review. Even if you haven't, go back and still respond now. It doesn't matter, right? And you want to, not only do you want to respond with, being genuine and authentic, but it doesn't hurt if you make it a little SEO friendly either.
Listen, and you don't even have to go think deeply. Like, literally, all of my responses are generated AI. Google will automatically generate a response for you. Now, I'll go back and read it. Always go back and read it. And if there's a little something that happened in the transaction that you want to like mention that's sweet or something to that degree, go ahead and do it. But a lot of times you simply just click the button. It'll send you a message and say, hey, you got a review. Respond to it. I mean, it's telling you how to maximize Google.
Yep. So before I share how did you get 160 plus reviews, Terry?
Well, I've serviced over 600 clients, so if you really look at the statistics, that's not that great. However,
It's
I
okay.
asked
Continue
for it.
telling
I
me.
asked for it at different intervals of the transaction, and I asked for it multiple times. There's one that came in today. This is actually, he did it twice. I didn't even think you could, but I have an automation that goes out when you go under contract. This happens to be a seller I'm talking about. We went under contract and he did all the things. And my automation says, hey, write me a Google review. Be honest. If there's something special I did, tell us about it. Period. I don't tell them what to say. I know a lot of people out there saying, hey, tell them what to say so that you get the best reviews. But in my opinion, I don't do that right now. I tell them to be honest because, if they give me a 1-star review, while it sucks, it's real and I need to know the truth.
Yep. Yep. So good job. You've got to respond to your reviews, right? Making sure you can utilize maybe, yes, AI, or, you respond to maybe where they bought, right? Because you're making it SEO searchable friendly. So if they bought in Dallas, then say, hey, it was great helping you find a home in Dallas, right? You don't have to give the address or anything because you don't want to give away personal information. But you want to say if it was first time home buyer, maybe reply with, "Hey, it was great helping you, as a first time buyer, walking you through the process for the first time, something like that." That way, maybe other first time home buyers see that. So you got to respond to your reviews.
So I have a question for you.
Yep.
We talk about getting reviews. How many reviews are you giving?
So I give, not a lot, but I do give reviews.
So let me give you a tip. You go to a local business. You're supporting that local business. They did good, you give them a review. Maybe you've made a video about their business and you've added that to your Google, or you've made a comment in theirs and you've added it. You then ask them for your review too, because you did business with them. It wasn't necessarily you did real estate business with them,
Yeah.
but you had a service with them. Anthony, you got a question?
Yeah, I had a quick question. I was gonna let you guys finish speaking. That's why I raised the hand. But I don't do I haven't done a Google review page yet. I've been getting reviews on my Zillow page, which I show to people who are considering hiring me. And I've been trying to do the same tactics that you guys do. The reason I haven't gone to the Google business page yet, which I was hoping you could shed some light on, is because I have had, not many, but I have had people in the past threaten mid-transaction, hey, if you don't cut your commission, I'm going to leave you a bad Google review. And I've always been like, well, I don't have a Google review page, so good luck. Um, how do you guys get around that? And has that ever happened to you where people feel like kind of they have one over you because they could threaten to give you a bad review? Not even because you're doing a bad job, just because there's some evil people out there.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of really great clients, very few bad apples, but I've had some few bad apples where they're just like upset because they just don't agree with having to pay me my commission anymore. They just want more money. Maybe the house wasn't worth what they thought it was, and they had to do a price drop and they're like,
So
I want you to cut your commission now. you know?
So to be honest, I think that's more of a value. I've I've been doing this for 11 years. I've never had a client say, I need you to cut your commission.
Mm,
And it's either the expectations you're setting up in the very beginning of the consultations, and you don't always have to work with everybody. If you know that's going to come up later, then maybe you don't work with them, right?
mm,
But if they're going to threaten you, say, hey, no worries. If I haven't done a great job for you and you feel obligated to do that, by all means go do that. I'm still not cutting my compensation, right?
Yeah, and I'll agree with Matt on a couple of those things. And here's what I'll say. Don't not have a Google because of that reason. If you were to get a bad Google review, you could again respond to it and say, I'm really sorry that the transaction didn't go as planned. I'm unfortunately not at liberty to make those adjustments mid-transaction. You don't have to say what the adjustment is, but you're still responding to the negativity and people will see through it. The other thing I'll tell you is I would also stick with Google. I would be on, excuse me, on Zillow and on Realtor.com, and here's why. A lot of times we go to Google for our business and we're building Google, but what we neglect is the Zillow and the Realtor. But where the Zillow and the Realtor have become prominent is ChatGPT. Because ChatGPT does not pull all just Google, they pull Zillow and Realtor because that's where the MLSs feed. So don't stop the Zillow and Realtor, but definitely build a Google page because you want
mm,
people to see you everywhere.
Yeah.
mm.
And you got to think from a consumer's perspective, they're probably going to start on Google, right?
Yes.
So why didn't they threaten to leave you a bad Zillow review?
Right.
Well,
Because they don't
the
give a
thing
shit.
is it's harder for them to leave a Zillow review. They verify it, and like anyone could leave a Google review even if they didn't do a transaction with you, you know?
So
Um,
I've had three bad Google reviews. They
mm.
don't even show up anymore because there's so many positives
There's so many
and
positive
negatives.
ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
the one bad apple that you may have is going to be negated further down the line. And people can see through that. It's like if I said, hey, Anthony was great, Anthony was great, Anthony was great, and you got one person that comes in and goes, oh, he was a douche.
Yeah.
How was he a douche? What did you do to make him a douche? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
don't think of it that deeply.
It only
Don't let
happened
someone
like
else stop
two it only happened like two times out of like 40 deals. It's just like you know what it really was? He was really more bitter because I found the buyer myself and he didn't want to pay more than 3% commission. That's really what it was, right?
so it's
So,
compensation now. Remember that. We're
yeah.
not
that.
allowed to say commission. It's compensation.
Compensation,
You gotta
yeah.
get that number one out of your verbiage, man.
There you
Say compensation, right? This is going everywhere.
Compensation.
Everybody. No, we said compensation. We're not saying
Right.
commission. Okay, so compensation.
No
Yeah.
problem.
So, all right. So read reviews. Obviously, respond to them. Don't worry about them. Like she said. I mean, if you come here and look at mine, yes, it says 5 star, but there's not all 5 stars. I want to say there's one or two 4 stars, but because there's only one and two out of 159, it still shows that I have a 5 star. But and Terry, back to what you said, guys, Google review doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do business with them. It could be somebody you helped. It could be somebody who knows your value, your integrity, who you are as a person. They can leave you a Google review, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to transact. Look, here's a vendor partner of mine who left one. Here's another agent who left one. A lot of times when we have good experiences with agents, we try to ask for a Google response, right? Why not? We're in this together. We close the transaction together. So, Anthony, you'll be getting one if you're pleased with us on this transaction that we're about to close. It's like get a Google review swap. If we did great, why not, as you as an agent, go give them kudos?
Mhm.
Right? That relationship could determine, a transaction down in the future, even though, we don't steer clients or anything like that. But if we've had great experiences, we're going to share that with our clients. Like, hey, here's 5 offers, but you know what? They're going to ask, have you worked with any of them? Well, yeah, I have. I've worked with Anthony. I've worked with Terry. I've worked with John. And there was a great, smooth transaction. They were very communicative. They were always on top and, for their clients' best interest and stuff. And it was just great. That client may say, cool, well, we're going to choose this offer then since they are a great agent. They're not going to just turn around and back out day one and all these other things. So you can leave Google reviews for different reasons. Here's the mortgage lender, right? She referred me a client and, you know, she gave me a Google review, but go in there and you can give each other reviews and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean they have to transact with you. Look beyond outside of the box. And when you do get that bad Google review, great. Focus on going and get the positive ones. And like Terry said, it'll get buried. You won't even
Right.
see it.
Right.
All right. So next thing, photos. Obviously, you got to have photos, of just people want to see you, your clients, the different things that you do. So just post photos on there. We post them just randomly as well. These are just some of the ones that we've done and whatnot. Posts. So yes, you have to treat Google My Business like a social media profile. You have to go in there and post different updates, different things. So like this is one that we did. It's a just listed. Anthony, look at that. Just listed and we're already under contract, bud. Anthony's the agent that we're on the other side of this transaction that we just executed. So we have a September 9, right? Happy Labor Day. We have our seminar we're doing this weekend. Different open house posts, different things, right? Just working professional about staging, reviews in Spanish, coming soon, right? So you can add different posts. You want to treat it like social media. Try to post daily. We try to post a few times a week because we too forget, but you got to treat it as a social media thing. Next, products. Products, you can come in here and list your properties. You can do your different, your website, right? Estimated home valuation. So like people can click here, they can go to this, home equity report and get it, right? So it's a link that they can get to, like a landing page. You want to use different products. I mean, we have our solds, we have different homes for sale, for buying, searching, buyer strategy sessions, listing appointments, our listings on there. So just different type of products, right? Because we don't actually have products, we have services, but we cater them to look like products. Okay. And this is something new that I learned from my buddy Scott Chang. Was I always came in here and I did ask questions, and I had other people. But sometimes when you ask, like, hey, Terry, can you go on Google real quick and ask this question so I can answer it? It takes forever and you either forget and you don't do it. And that's where it was. Like, I had this, many, many months ago and stuff, and I utilized it. But what I learned from Scott was he's like, who cares about that? Nobody's looking at who's asking the question and who's replying it. So he creates his own. He asks his own question and then comes in here and replies with it, right? And he says he does about 10 a week because it's going to help with your SEO. It's going to help with the chat GPTs and the AIs because people are going to chat GPT now to search for things versus Google, right? And so like Terry said, it's going to pull in data from all these websites, Google, Zillow, Realtor, everywhere, social media, who knows? And
So
so
where are you getting your questions that you wanted to ask it?
ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, what are 30 things that sellers want to know today based off of the market? Hey, buyers want to know. Hey, let's outline the home buying process. Let's do this. Let's do that. What about vendors? Hey, what are things outside of, the home? What is great maintenance tips? Whatever, right? That's where we're going for. And so I started implementing starting last week to do 10 questions a week and I just do them all on the same day. It doesn't matter. Like you see, 6 days, 6 days, 6 days. I did all these the same, right? And I got to come in here. Oh, look at that. I didn't answer these two. I got to come in and answer those. But you come in, ask your questions because, like you said, the chat GPTs and stuff are searching all these platforms for things like this to pull in data from you. And so kudos to Scott. I appreciate you showing me that I can do my own. And then obviously this is how the profile looks. So questions and answers, right? If you have a booking like a Canley or something like that, do it. I also have a contact page just where people can go to my website and do my contact page on here, right? Because I want to feed them back to my website, get them on my website. Edit services. So that's a great one. Obviously, you want to come in here and say you do anything and everything, right? So obviously, I'm a real estate agency. I do buyer agents. I do farm sales, first-time home buyers, land leasing and sales, right? For commercial, luxury property, new construction, property auctions, property buying, real estate development, real estate investing, real estate sales management, like anything and everything, any of these services, you want to come here and just start adding to it. So then that way it helps your profile. The more the merrier. If you do it, great. So then that way it has your profile sitting higher than others that don't have it. So what questions do y'all have real quick before we wrap it up? Terry, do you have anything to add on Google My Business?
I do. I think one
Wow.
thing that people may or may not be using right now to add on to your GMB, three actually really important things. Number one, if you're not also utilizing YouTube, YouTube is a product of Google. So you need to be also doing videos in regards to the questions and answers that you're putting on your Google. In your descriptions, make sure you use those SEO words that'll drive it back to your Google. That will be one thing to help. Number two, I personally believe having some sort of a website that you can actually push things to will also help your Google. And then the last but not least is now everything on Instagram. If you check the button to be public, also shows up on Google. So utilizing your social media along with your websites is also going to help boost your Google page out. And here's the thing. Mine is set up to so I get probably 1,500 to 2,000 views. Just people going. Maybe they're asking for directions. Maybe they're just looking at my stuff. But if 2,000 people see my site and I convert one, it still did its job, right? So don't overthink it. Get it out there. If you don't have it and you don't utilize it, you're never going to know what you're missing.
Yeah, and that's a great thing, like you mentioned, right? When you have a Google My Business, you got to come in here and look at your analytics, right? We look at them as a team almost every week just to see how we're doing, right? Especially at our end of month reviews. We come in here and we see, okay, is it up? Is it down? What is it? Did we not post as much? What's hurting it? What do we need to do to get it back? So, performance, right? Overview. So, just in the month of September, what are we? Today's what, the 16th?
Mm-hmm.
Had 69 business interactions, right? On the different things. It's 723 people have viewed our Google page in 16 days. It
Mm.
tells you here, most
Matt,
mobile.
can I share?
Yeah,
I want to be a butthead real quick.
most of it's mobile, most of it's desktop maps. Look at that. 7% from maps because people are using the maps.
Well, because they searched your name and they went in the map to click on your product.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
Share your screen.
you've got it turned off.
What?
Yeah, I
Huh?
requested you
Wow.
allow.
Here you go. Okay.
Okay. So this is just to show you, and I've been working on my Google page for a long, long time. So same thing, I go to performance for this is actually showing me April to September, 1154. So you just did September, right? So still 78, but I had 1366 interactions. So I didn't really got a whole lot of stuff that happened, but they're searching it. And I think, and I truly, truly equate this to because I'm using the YouTube, because I'm using the Instagram, and because I have the website SEO packed out. I
Yeah.
went back too and just looked because I always like to track my stuff, right? So I went back and looked through how many deals that I had closed in Google. I had 20 this year,
Yeah.
just Google
So go back to
stuff.
your Google Analytics.
Uh, 1 second. Let me get back on share. Share. Come on, share. So you want to go back to Google. Well, sorry, it's trying to get you over there. Okay, Google.
What does your website link clicks look like? Right there.
Where here?
Yep.
36.
36 because you have it all optimized, right?
Yep.
So not only are they coming to her on Google, then they're actually going to her website,
Yep.
you know?
Four
And
calls came in this month. I mean,
so,
and you mentioned too, like don't put rentals and stuff. Somehow I have rentals on mine and I don't do rentals, but I'll tell you, I've converted a couple of those too. So while I don't want to take those calls, sometimes there is that opportunity if you
thank
feel
you,
like you
Barry.
want to
I'll
try
add
that.
it. Thank you for putting me in my place. I will add it.
No, no, no. It's just sometimes you can, right? Like, why do you want to rent? What's the difference? Like, how much are you looking to spend per month? Oh, 2 grand a month. Okay, cool. Well, why not buy? Especially in Texas, I've been seeing all them great homes y'all got down there that are inexpensive now. Come on.
You want to move? I'm a real
No,
estate agent.
I might be
Cool.
buying a rental property in
All right,
Dallas, but
guys, let's wrap it up. If there's no more questions, you can follow us on, YouTube, our social media, subscribe, like, send this to another agent who you think will get some value out of it. And we will catch you next week when we have another topic that we discuss to help you agents in your business.
next week, let's talk about ChatGPT and how
Yeah,
to actually
you
use it.
Sounds good. There you go,
All
guys.
right.
Sweet
Bye,
chat
guys.
GPT. See ya.
Have a good one.